we try to adhere to our 5-step methodology, which consists of what we call a configuration planning phase, which is our first phase, which is really a lot of our you might traditionally call in a traditional development life cycle as the design phase. So that's where we confirm our business goals, our business drivers with our customer, and make sure we've got the basics defined of where we're going, what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, who's going to do it, and what needs to be done for us to get that job done. Then we actually go out and do the work. That's our integration phase or our implementation phase. And that's really executing upon the plans that we've developed in our design phase, in our configuration planning phase. After that, we do a testing phase where one of the things that we've hopefully done in our configuration planning phase is make sure that we've defined test cases, situations that a customer is going to run into in their environment, make sure that make sure we can actually handle those situations as they arise. That's our testing phase, and of course, there's a remediation phase to that too, in case the tests don't quite make it through. And then we have a documentation phase. Documentation is pretty important, and it's one of the things that I think we see a lot of our competitors kind of fall down on. And then, of course, there's a knowledge transfer phase where we make sure that we haven't left our customer with a solution that's not manageable. We want to make sure that they have the skills and the education and the knowledge to be able to manage the implementations that we've put in for them. By following this methodology, I mean, it's something we do all the time. It's the way we do it, and it really helps to ensure success. Everybody in our team is fully aware of the various steps that we need to go through. It's not just let's just jump out and throw these things in there and hope that they work. But I think one of the highlights that I've had here at Key was just getting into a situation that we had with a potential customer that really was just out of hand for a variety of reasons. And I was able to really jump in and try and get it back on track by really applying the principles of our methodology, going back in, revisiting configuration, revisiting the design. What is it? What's the business driver behind this particular solution? What are we looking for? What are we trying to accomplish here? And then reset, refocus our expectations, made sure that our technical design was strong, made sure that we had identified the test cases that we really needed to pass for the solution to hold up, and then take them through testing and take them through documentation and take them through knowledge transfer. This is for one of our customers here on the East Coast. And it was one of the first real engagements that I really got involved in here at Key, and I was very proud of the fact that I was able to jump in and gain trust of the client, basically by telling them the truth and providing a path to get from where they were, which was not a good place, and getting them out and identifying, showing them the light at the end of the tunnel, and then holding their hand as we got through to the end of the tunnel. And just telling them where we were as we went along the way, and if we made missteps in technology, especially with the kind of stuff we work with, bleeding edge stuff sometimes, things don't always go as they're planned. And you have to make sure that you have contingency plans in place. You have to make sure you know what you're going to do if you get off track. And I think based just on my experience in the industry has really helped me to help navigate through some of these pitfalls. I think what you see a lot of times when you see somebody like me come in, and he or she presents this really nice picture of how they're going to get from point A to point B. But if you look at it really closely, a lot of times it's what we call a success-based schedule, which means you got 100 steps. You're going to get from point A to point B in 6 months. And if you look at these 100 steps, they're great. You will get from point A to point B in 6 months, as long as each of the 100 steps completes successfully exactly as you intended. And that's just not the case. I mean, it's just not the case with technology. I'd say, having worked with a variety of other industries, it's really not the case in most other industries. Nothing ever goes completely as planned. So you have to make sure that you have identified where your risks are, what kind of contingencies you have to build in for that, how you're going to react in case things go wrong, and just be realistic and be truthful with everybody involved, And that's usually the best criteria for success. While the technologies have changed throughout my career, spanning more than 20 years, the principles behind them haven't. There are certain things you always need to do when you're implementing a technology solution. And I think a good project manager understands what those are, understands various steps that are folded into our methodology but also need to be highlighted. You need to make sure that you've communicated well among all parties involved as to what tasks are being undertaken, what the dependencies are, who's involved, what the dates are going to be, and what your contingencies are going to be as far as that goes. What is our client's business objective here? What are they trying to accomplish? Trying to save money? Are they trying to improve the efficiency of their processes? Are they trying to eliminate some of the overhead associated with these things? And you got to make sure that those are the targets that you hit. The technology targets will follow along accordingly.